They've always said children would not be on social media, but now they're putting their kids' faces on social media.
They are the Duke and Duchess of double standards. She's dishonest. A new development now, which is they're not even hiding the faces. Are we protecting the kids and keeping them private, or are we not? Which is it, Meghan? The Tom Bower book has been catastrophic for their reputation. It's been one embarrassment after the other. I'm just curious what kind of backlash there will be. I think it's unforgivable. I think it's sick to use the kids. I really, I think it crosses the line.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Expresso. You asked for it, so we're giving it to you. Another special with Mark Dolan and me, JJ. Mark, hello.
Great to see you, JJ.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Look, Jesus has risen.
Which is good news.
It's good news.
Yeah, long anticipated.
Yeah, finally. Whoosh.
I think he'd look at the state of the world and think, do I really want to come back this time? What a mess.
I think you're right. You're right. Jesus would be saying Jesus wept. That's what he'd be saying to himself.
He would be weeping indeed. And we're allowed to do these jokes because we're both Christians, are we not?
We are,
I'm
right.
Practicing Roman Catholic.
I'm a practicing Roman Catholic too.
There you go.
Yay.
I knew and we're both Spurs fans. I mean, there's nothing we haven't got in common.
For our sins. Let's start with Harry and Meghan.
Yes.
I was surprised. Obviously, I wasn't there last week. I've been out of the news cycle. But I saw some pictures, videos of Meghan and Harry's kids. And I saw the outline of the boy's face.
Yep.
What's going on? Because they've always said children would not be on social media. They've always kept their faces completely hidden.
Yeah.
They had the big thing about how bad social media is for kids and it's ruining kids' lives, yada, yada, yada. They loved it that Meta got done the other week in court and Meta have now had to pay out some money to a woman who says her kid was addicted to social media.
Yeah.
But now they're putting their kids' faces on social media.
They are the Duke and Duchess of double standards, right? There's nothing that they say that isn't hypocritical, where they don't contradict themselves. It's incoherent because Meghan's incredibly flaky and she's dishonest. I mean, you cannot stand on a platform and talk about the dangers of social media for young people and then put Archie and Lily on Instagram. And we'll come to the face thing in a moment. Hitherto, right up till this point, they thought it was acceptable that you feature the kids, but just the back of their heads or a strange heart on the face, which I find a bit serial killer-like. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember back in the day when serial killers used to send letters using the cutouts from the paper? You know, I just find it sinister, actually, to see some kind of graphical image on a child's face. But the bottom line is that did not protect Archie and Lily in the first place, because all it does is creates further curiosity. For in these kids.
Yeah.
And the point is, they've said they wanted privacy. That's why they left the UK, at which point they had the book Spare, the documentary series Harry and Meghan, and the Oprah interview, right? Yep. So they contradict themselves there. They're fed up with the royal stuff, the terrible goldfish bowl of being a serving royal. And then what do? Go on pretend fake royal trips. And now they talk about the privacy and safety of their children whilst plastering them on Instagram. And as you say, a new development now, which is they're not even hiding the faces. So we don't see, in this latest drop, and this was over Easter, we don't see Lily's face, just the back of her head, and it's her sort of flowing sort of auburn locks. Yeah. But we do see Archie. Well, are we protecting the kids and keeping them private, or are we not? Which is it, Meghan? And the issue you've got is that, Archie's there and he's making his egg and all the rest of it. And this should be a very private moment because Easter is a time for family, isn't it? And I do stuff with my family over Easter and I don't put it on Facebook or Instagram or X because I don't need to. We're a happy family. Why do they have to show the world that things are going so swimmingly?
Yeah.
Because they are not.
That's what you think. You don't think so. You don't think they're just happy-go-lucky, very rich couple with two lovely children. It's like, hey, everyone, look at how happy we are. Happy Easter. Jesus has risen. Yay.
Well, I think with that ironic tone and that cheeky little glint in your eye, JJ, that you know as well as I do, that it's that Shakespearean expression, he doth protest us too much. They're trying to convince us how perfect their lives are and how happy their lives are. The other issue is that they've had a horrible year. The PR's been a disaster. The Tom Bower book has been catastrophic for their reputation. It's been one embarrassment after the other. And so Meghan is trying to rescue her reputation and rescue the brand by leveraging Archie and Lily, which is deeply wrong. It's incredibly unethical because they're young. Anyone under 18 cannot consent to being made a celebrity. And they are, they're small kids. And I'm just curious what kind of backlash there will be when they're older, when they realize that their mother used them as very small children, sharing private, intimate family moments on social media for clicks, for headlines, for relevance, to nourish and regenerate her brand, and for money. And by the way, here's the kicker. Harry is not happy. I'm here. All of my royal sources are telling me that Harry's not happy about this, including on my TalkTV show, someone that knows Harry incredibly well, Duncan Larkham, former royal editor of The Sun, wrote the definitive biography of Harry. Remembered Harry when we all loved him. Mm-hmm. The guy that drank a beer, chased girls, had fun, brave military chap, all the rest of it, the most popular member of the royal, ahead of Queen Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. So he remembers the old Harry. And he said, I can assure you on my TalkTV show, Mark, I can assure you, Harry is not behind this. He said, 95% guaranteed this is all Meghan. And what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. You be clear about this. Harry was born famous. Celebrity has been 100% negative for him because he's had the glare of publicity since he was a small child. You don't choose that. This is the one moment where I'm going to be sympathetic to Harry. I know he's a grown-up, right? I think it was a mistake marrying Meghan. I think he's old and ugly enough to take responsibility for his actions as an adult. Where I am sympathetic is that he was famous from day one, so he doesn't value it. In fact, he hates it. And his dream is part of Megxit. You see, I think what happened, JJ, I think that he was missold Megxit. I think he was lied to. He was given a bum steer. He was conned into Megxit by Meghan, who gave the impression that she was going to get him out of the UK. They were not going to have the royal burden anymore. They weren't going to have the celebrity and the fame. They were going to have privacy and a simple life. Because don't forget, they courted each other in Africa. Mm-hmm. And one suggestion, as borne out by Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday, is that they might live in South Africa post-Megxit, to the point where, in a very performative way, Meghan was looking at properties in South Africa. Of course, you know as well as I do, and our viewers, she had no intention of living in Africa. Where do they wind up? Hollywood, California. Yeah. Isn't that a surprise? But so the bottom line is, Harry doesn't want any of this. He doesn't want to be in a large mansion in Montecito, California. He doesn't really want to throw his family under the bus, but he needs the money. He doesn't want his kids to be famous because he was and he hated it. Mm-hmm. And when is this man, I've got to ask you, JJ, when's he going to stand up to his wife? When's he going to grow a backbone? When is he going to be the master of the house?
Are any of us married men able to stand up to our wives, really? And does Harry want to stand up to her? Maybe he thinks, I don't really like any of this. I don't like any of this. I don't like any
I'm
of
so
this.
unhappy.
But maybe he thinks it's worth it just to keep Meghan happy.
Well, yes. And of course, I've actually had another royal insider that said that the couple are notorious for rows and fights. Oh. And I've got an insider that worked at a hotel where the couple were staying in London a few years ago, in which Harry was yelling. I mean, this is reported and allegedly, but Harry's saying, nothing I do is good enough for you. Now, we can't, definitively absolutely prove that that's what's happened. What we can do is look at the body language between the couple. Mm-hmm. When they're in public together, Harry looks miserable. His shoulders are hunched, sadness in the eyes. I mean, his appearance on the final episode of season 1 of With Love, Meghan was truly shocking. He turns up with a Bucks Fizz going, "Hello, my love, you're so amazing." This is a guy, he's got to go on his wife's TV show and kiss the ring like she's Don Corleone. Although I'm going to be honest with you, right? I find Don Corleone less scary than Meghan Markle, right? Don Corleone is positively cuddly compared to the Duchess of Sussex. Didn't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex. She's terrifying.
Some of our more cynical viewers have been saying...
That will be all of them.
They've been suggesting that this doting mother act, they've been calling it, that she's doing it because she's trying to position herself now to maybe sell products around being a mom.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but is she? Or is she just, like most mothers, just a good mom who likes to around the kids?
I mean, it's a very, very literary show today because I just haven't quoted Shakespeare. By the way, please don't think I'm learned. It's something called Chat GPT. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
It's called Matt GPT.
Yeah, do you know what? Since AI, I got a whole lot smarter. Did you know that? And the other great quote that fits with the Shakespeare protests too much. You've got to convince everyone you're so happy. Look at our amazing life. Mm-hmm. The other one is Virginia Woolf, right? Virginia Woolf said, a perfectly adjusted human being would be silent. Well, Meghan's the opposite. She's noisy, she's loud. She's got to convince the world and herself that she's happy. The interesting difference between Harry and her, she's an actress, so she fakes it very well. Harry can't, and that's why I'm pointing out with his body language, and he just trails around, sparing his own marriage. He's the help, he's the bag carrier. And, he can't. Meghan pretends. So I think now this is the next stage of the project, which is Operation Use the Kids. Mm-hmm. And you're so right to point out that we see Archie's face. What happened to his safety? This is a couple, by the way, who won't come to London as a family until they have armed royal protection.
Yeah.
But we can now see their eldest child, his full face and what he looks like on social media. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly strange. And the other royals do it so differently. When it's Charlotte and Louis and George, who are the children of the Prince and Princess of Wales, we get a lovely family Christmas card and it's properly posed, or it's Louis's birthday, and that's grown up and professional. And I think that's how Harry and Meghan should do it, but they won't do it. And yeah, Harry's powerless now to do anything about how the kids are raised. It's my understanding, by the way, that they row about the kids. It's the main flashpoint. It's my understanding is that they actually, surprisingly, and this is rather kills the narrative, but according to Tom Bower, he does think they're still quite in love, and he thinks that Harry's attracted to her still, and that he's got feelings for her, and that's fine. But it is my understanding that the flashpoints are about the kids, and I think that's going to get worse as they get older.
Okay, well, some other cynics have been suggesting that her and Harry posting these pictures and videos was just to try and outshine and overshadow William and co, who had, they're out for the Easter Sunday, they've been to Mass. So Harry and Meghan decided, actually, we're going to post these pictures, then we'll get all the attention. I don't actually think Harry thinks that much about them. I think he's
not
too
Harry.
busy.
Not Harry.
Oh,
it's Meg's. My husband. That's who it is. That relationship. It's not a democracy. It's tyranny. And I've got to stop feeling sorry for Harry because he is a grown man. But honestly, I think he's powerless to do anything about it. And yes, it's all of the above. You release it at the weekend, over the bank holiday, over the Easter weekend, because we know those pictures, those fabulous pictures of William and Catherine and their kids went out, dignified, beautifully dressed, no big weird heart on the face, right? No strange rear shots, just we're going to church, lovely. So yeah, so it's competition with the Waleses. It's they need the money. She needs the headline. She needs to reinvent her brand, and I think it's unforgivable. I think it's sick to use the kids. I really, I think it crosses the line. If Meghan goes and does a show where she attacks the royal family, fair enough. We're all grown-ups. It's free speech. Mm-hmm. But for me, to deploy Archie and Lily without their consent, because a child can't consent, I think it's so wrong. And I think those kids, by the way, my heart goes out to them. I think they're going to be so messed up when they're older, because that's not a good start in life. And they're not safe. It's not safe to advertise your children in that way.
Do you ever post pictures of your kids on social media?
No, nothing. I mean, all I would do is a WhatsApp group which contains Auntie Jean and Uncle Bob and my dear mum, and my siblings, and we'd be like, oh, so and so's birthday today, and I've got it on my YouTube show. I've got two sons, and I change their names because I care about their privacy, and I call them Elton and Bernie.
Yeah.
I do actually, yeah. Especially because the eldest does look like Elton, actually. He's very overweight, thick glasses, fat fingers, short-tempered, mercurial.
But dresses fabulously.
But yeah, no, I love my kids, and I don't use their names on the radio and on this show, and I don't think our viewers would expect it. They would. I mean, I would hope. I mean, let us know in the comments. But I think that you would understand why. And you're a public figure yourself.
I am.
Do you go around, giving this information about your kids? No, because it's the main reason why is because they haven't consented to it. When they're 18, if you look at Gordon Ramsay or the Beckhams, fair enough. Once they turn into grown-ups, then they can use that surname and knock yourself out. Mm-hmm. Not when you. I mean, how old are Archie and Lily? What, sort of 6 and 4 or something like that?
Yeah,
they're very little. You can entirely be defended for using that word because it's what his brother refers to him as in the book Spare.
Oh,
it's in the book Spare.
really?
It's, my brother Willie,
Yeah.
And I think because you've done it right, you do it in a charming and humorous way. You're joking, right?
Of course.
You're just having some fun with it, but Harry did it for a whole different set of reasons. In that book Spare, my brother Willie. That's to undermine him. That's to put him down. Meghan's done it with Harry by calling him H, which I find obscene. His name is Harry.
His name is Henry.
Well, it's a good point, by the way. It's a good point. But it's, I think Meghan calls him H and my husband is a way of pushing him down, keeping him in his place. And I think this is what Harry's tried to do with William. It's obscene to refer to a man, first of all, that's your older brother, and who's going to be king as Willie. And in that book, Spare, I mean, I'm still mystified that this was allowed by the publishers, whereby he says that, first of all, he was amazed how bald his brother had become. Well, wait a minute. Harry, you're, do you know what I mean? You're not exactly Ronald McDonald yourself, right? Trying to think of a celebrity with famously a lot of hair.
Liberace.
That would do it. That would do it. It's one for the teenagers. So that's odd for him to say that. And then he also pointed out, he said, I was amazed that, how little my brother, he doesn't look like our mother anymore. Now, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's horrible.
What is, because this is what I do with the Sussexes, is I take a look at the actions, such as the Easter drop of videos.
Yeah.
So, but then I also look at what's underneath it. Why? And why do you think that he has said in the book Spare that William doesn't look like Diana anymore? Why would you write that?
He knows that's going to be cutting to William, and it makes it's
going to hurt William.
Yeah, it's going to hurt him. That's really cheap and really nasty. Yeah,
I think it does another weird thing, which is it's somehow a way of saying that William is not Diana's son in a strange sense. It's almost denying the maternity of Diana. It's just like, well, you look like our mother before, now you don't, so you're a bit less Diana's son than you are. I think he was jealous. He felt like you look at William and you go, well, that's Diana 2.0. And let's not forget, he's got designs on being Diana. It's interesting, isn't it? Because we know Meghan thinks she's Princess Diana and she's got the Northwestern University hoodie, which Diana famously wore, and she's worn outfits that are like Diana's. And she's like, we would have been such great friends. Which, by the way, Diana's family, the Spencers, are like, no way.
Yeah.
You've torn apart the two brothers. There's no way Diana would like Meghan Markle. But the other aspect of it is that Harry thinks he's Diana as well, and I think that's the degree of narcissism on his part. He ain't fit to tie her shoelaces. He ain't Diana. He's not even Andrew 2.1. By the way, so we've got to get Andrew out of the wood farm.
Yeah, let's go back to that point.
Yeah, because I mean, what is it with Andrew and wood? I don't know.
Something to do with being in the army, I guess.
Back to your private videos, isn't it? But this guy, the arrogance of it. So the wood farm is where his late father, Philip, spent his last years. Found out recently, by the way, from Hugo Vickers' book, that brave Prince Philip was battling cancer for about 8 or 9 years and carried on with his royal duties. They don't make him like that anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, he won't go out. And then so the big development now is lovely Edward and Sophie, who, by the way, haven't put a foot wrong. I mean, they're not the most compelling personalities in the world, but we've had no trouble from Edward, have we?
In recent times, no.
In recent times. Well, he's a rubbish entrepreneur like the rest. But anyway, that's it. So they wanted to take a break at the wood farm. They've had to go to a different house, which is actually a former property owned by the housekeeper, the gardeners, right? Yeah. But that, I mean, can I say all these properties are lavish?
Yeah.
Because even that small little gardener's cottage that Sophie and Edward have taken, it goes for about, what is it, £5,000?
4,100 quid a week in high season. Yeah. Just get yourselves over to Benidorm, mate. That's what I'd say. It'd be half the price, all inclusive. Kids can have frozen pizza every day for lunch. You got burgers and free entertainment in the evening.
That's it. Surrounded by English people.
Yeah. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You don't have to worry about speaking the language or anything.
Yeah, don't learn Spanish. Just go where the Brits are. Perfect. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for them, but I think Andrew is looking like an idiot, and he's making Charles look like an even bigger fool. I go as far as saying a weak fool. That's how he's making Charles look.
He's the stain that you can't get out of your trousers, isn't he? That's what Andrew is. And
he really is.
I feel for the king because he's scrabbling around for some kind of legacy, and I don't think he's going to get it.
No. Let's move on to a Daily Express exclusive at front page. In fact, Keir Starmer's darkest grooming gang secret. So this story is about a Rochdale grooming survivor who has branded Starmer's account of her case vile and accused him of lying to help his political career. So according to Ruby, this survivor, it's not her real name, but we're calling a survivor in the paper. This is horrific. She was raped 5 days a week from the age of 12 to 15 by a Pakistani gang who forced her to get blackout drunk and threatened her with a gun when she said no. And by the way, Ruby, who has special needs, right? This girl has special needs.
The definition of vulnerable.
Yeah. At age 13, she was impregnated by gang member Adil Khan and had her aborted fetus taken and frozen by Greater Manchester Police without her knowledge or consent. And she's basically branded Sir Keir's repeated use of his role as Director of Public Prosecutions, which Starmer often says he's based his political career now on being the fact that when I was in charge of CPS, I was protecting those girls. I was doing everything I can to get people. No, Starmer, this clearly is not the case. And this brave survivor who has come out and called out Starmer for what he is, it's just vile. And she's told us, the Express, that it's absolutely vile. How can he stand there and say he did a good job? They had DNA, concrete evidence, and still didn't get the offender charged with rape. Because that's it. The CPS didn't go after this guy for rape. They only pursued conspiracy charges against...
Which is a much lesser charge.
The guy was released after 3 years. After 3 years. That is no kind of justice. And Ruby's story is similar to many stories that we have heard from these survivors.
Most definitely. It's incredible journalism from the Express, and fair play for giving this brave woman a voice. 12 to 15, those were the years in which she was attacked, the detail of which we cannot go into in a family show, but it's unimaginable. It's a nightmare. It's the most wicked thing you can think of. And Sir Keir Starmer, I understand why it sticks in the craw for this young woman, who's now, of course, a grown adult, to hear the Prime Minister at the dispatch box talking about the safety of women and girls. Yeah. Given the fact this is a Prime Minister who resisted a national inquiry into the Pakistani Muslim rape gangs for so long, he's been bounced into it, which he shouldn't have had to have been bounced into it. And even now, they're still dragging their heels. We don't have a clear timeline for when this is going to happen, when there will be justice for these girls. And, one of the great shocking aspects of this is it's ongoing. I've spoken to a lawyer in the Northwest who represents victims and perpetrators. And he said that it's as bad now. The scale of this is as bad, if not worse. So it's happening in real time. And so, Starmer, but, he's got previous on this. The guy is a master of Orwellian doublespeak. This is a guy that's growing the economy by shrinking it. Right? This is a guy that's stabilizing the foundations of the economy whilst we all get poorer and poorer. He's going to smash the gangs whilst essentially propping up their business model. He's had a fantastic new statistic, which is 70,000 people entering the country illegally since he became Prime Minister. So if he talks about the safety of women and girls, clearly asleep at the wheel when running the CPS as Director of Public Prosecutions, all in with mad gender ideology. I've got no problem with trans people. There are trans women, there are trans men. Some of them are close to me. No problem. You used to be George, you're now Linda. Good luck. Yeah. But this idea of someone that's a biological male accommodated in a female prison or participating in women's sport, which is dangerous and unfair, or being allowed to go into a rape crisis centre. I mean, we live it. Starmer was all in with that. A very brave Labour MP called Rosie Duffield said that a man cannot have a cervix. Starmer's asked about that on the BBC and he said that's not the right thing to say. Okay. So he's all in. We're asleep at the wheel at the CPS regarding the grooming gangs.
Yeah.
Asleep at the wheel, or at least all in with gender ideology, which is unfair on women and dangerous to women.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there are the boats that I just mentioned, because illegal immigration is especially bad news for the safety of women and girls.
Yeah.
We know that because if you have undocumented men crossing the channel, we don't know if they've got a criminal record. They may come from cultures that have a different attitude towards women. Plenty will. There's not just harassment. We know we've got the documented cases of women being attacked and assaulted by men that shouldn't be in the country in the first place. So if he cared about the safety of women and girls, he, for example, would unilaterally stop the boats. What does he do? He gets rid of the Rwanda plan. Now, I don't know if the Rwanda plan was going to work, but the Taoiseach of Ireland at the time, who's the Prime Minister, was furious about the Rwanda plan because already the boats were going past the UK into the Republic because of the threat of the Rwanda plan. And Starmer, before the election, said, he was asked a simple question, which is, would you scrap the Rwanda plan even if it works? And he said, yes, which is pretty wild for somebody to seek office saying, I'll scrap a policy that's successful. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be a first, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But that's how ideological he is. So, yeah, I'll take no lectures from Starmer, and may God bless this incredibly brave woman. And, you know, the Express has been very strong on the grooming gangs.
Yeah. Special shout out to Zach Garner-Perkis. He's our lead man on all of this.
And it's, you know, and a day of reckoning is coming.
Well, a Downing Street spokesperson said, as Director of Public Prosecutions, the Prime Minister secured the first grooming gang prosecutions more than a decade ago, and now his government is doing more than any before it to root out this vile crime. What a load of... I'm going to say waffle. I don't want my boss to get angry at me for swearing.
Well, these crimes also predominantly happen in Labour-controlled authorities. Yeah. And there is a suggestion that Starmer shouldn't be involved in the grooming gangs inquiry because he was at the CPS and therefore is compromised. We think the cops are compromised. They viewed some of these girls as fair game or, you know, women of easy virtue. It's like, wait a minute, they're children.
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with you?
Despicable. Right. Let me ask you a question, Marky Mark. Have you heard of Ashley James? You know,
of course I have, yeah. She's a very compelling broadcaster, influencer, former model, I think.
Yeah, I think she's done some modelling, yeah. I think so. Well, I am not really happy with her at the moment. Not that she'll care, but she sparked a fierce debate over the weekend because on Easter Sunday, our holiest day of the year for us Christians, she went and posted a video online with, this, like, she's in Mexico on holiday. So she got the Bible up in front of her. And then she says, I'm going to read you out a verse. She goes and reads out a verse and she says, all men are liars. And as she removes the Bible, you can see she's just scantily clad in a bikini. Now, of course, she's had a lot of backlash on this because my first question was, well, Ashley, would you do that with the Torah? Would you do that with the Quran? I don't think you would do that. So why is it okay for her to just make a mockery of Christianity? On the holiest day of the year. You are never going to see her doing that on Eid with a Quran.
No way.
Absolutely not. You're not going to do it during Passover with the Torah. She wouldn't do it with those books at any time of the year, but let alone the holiest day of the year for us Christians, and she feels it's acceptable to do that.
Yeah, and I know you and I are both free speech absolutists, so there's no way that she should be cancelled for this.
No, absolutely not.
And she's entitled to say these things any day of the year, but it's the double standards. It's going back to Meghan, isn't it? It's the same mentality, right? Say one thing, do another. And Ashley James has chosen Easter Sunday, so that's insensitive, which is surprising because she's crazy woke. She's one of the good people.
Yeah.
She's #be kind.
Yep.
So where's the empathy for people who are celebrating the return of Jesus Christ, who suffered the most appalling violent death just 3 days previously, and read the room? Yeah. You know, I thought you were one of the good people, the lovely. But of course, we know these people are the opposite, right? Yeah. Anyone in life, I've learned this the hard way. Anyone that tells you they're a good person, run for the hills. Right? Give me a wrong 'un any day. Yeah, a flawed rough diamond like yourself.
That's right.
All day long, baby.
I don't know how rough I am.
You don't present yourself as this holier than thou.
Oh, no, I'm deeply flawed.
And that's why we love you. She's your best bet.
Oh.
So, you know, Ashley, on the other hand, so morally superior. I think so arrogant again, you know. But like you said, I've got a catchphrase whenever I see Christianity being mocked or attacked, and it's a 3-word catchphrase, which is "Now do Islam." Okay, that's it. I might get should we get some T-shirts made up?
Now do Islam.
Now do Islam. And they never do. So, for example, the Paris Olympics ceremony, they did a mock-up of the Last Supper, which it's a very sacred occasion again. And they've got, I think, trans performers, cross-dressing, all of that stuff. Very sexualized, the opposite of what the Last Supper was about.
Yeah.
And I've got, again, it's free speech and it's art and it's creativity. And, I grew up in an era when songs were like, was it the BBC wouldn't play songs that would attack the Queen? It's ridiculous. So put it all out there.
Yeah.
But now do Islam. And of course they never will. It's the same thing with, The Life of Brian is a brilliant comedy film. If you made the equivalent about Islam, you're dead, aren't you? You can't. You've got a target on your back. Poor old Salman Rushdie wrote a rather long and boring book, which was slightly disparaging about that religion. And the guy had an international fatwa. That should have been the wake-up moment, by the way. That should have been the moment where we realised there's a problem. Because, no religion should be above criticism. So although I didn't love Ashley James's remarks, she's entitled to do it, but it's very telling that she wouldn't do it about anyone else.
Yeah.
We're the mugs. The Christians are the mugs.
Yeah, we are. We are. Because we turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Oh, not me, mate.
Well, Christianity, it's too Western. It doesn't fit the woke mindset of the downtrodden.
Yeah.
Some of these people would rather sort of back Hamas than they would
absolutely
the Anglican Church.
Absolutely.
Because it would be imperialism, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Commonwealth and empire. So and then the other thing you're right to point out, she can wear what she likes, but she's talking about how there are kind of Christians who kind of use their faith in a political sphere to control and put women down. That's fine. But she can post in a bikini if she wants, but I would humbly suggest it maybe undermines the sort of power of her argument. Because there's these images that she shares. She's a very beautiful woman, by the way, and she's an intelligent woman too. But why these images were particularly revealing? It was like, it felt like an OnlyFans sort of feed.
Yeah,
really.
I'd agree with that.
And that's fine. But then it's like you're sending out very mixed messages here. Yeah. If you were really concerned about this, you would get into a studio, do a piece to camera. Yeah. And you'd be, like I come on this show, we're wearing a suit. It's like we're communicating with our audience. We respect our audience and we've got, things we want to say. Right. What about, am I getting more clicks if I wore less clothes on the show?
You probably would. We've got a lot of women watching when you're on the show.
Well, can I tell you that?
Next week, yeah.
Well, I've got a pair of swimming shorts that are, can I just say,
are they shorts or trunks?
Well, they're kind of like
budgie smugglers.
Well, it was a great thing back in the day. They brought out these shorts that are they're like shorts, but they're like swimming trunks as well. But the problem is you can see everything. Right.
Really?
So maybe I should do next week's Daily Expresso, right, in some revealing trunks.
Yes.
And do a bit of Ashley James, flirty. But so this is, it's pretty wild, isn't it? And I think these people, obviously she exists. And you know what? It's all about opinions, isn't it? But it's the lack of consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the only opinion we care about is yours. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Should Mark Dolan come on this show next week in just his Speedos? I'm hoping there's going to be thousands of comments saying, Mark, let's see those budgie smugglers.
Yeah. The only thing is, do you mind turning up the temperature in the studio? Because
it's not going to help, mate. That's not going to help.
It's not very flattering when it's so cold in here.
You back on TalkTV this week?
Yes, I am. I'm back on air Saturday at 6 a.m. and I'm looking forward to it.
You're not on doing Friday this week?
No, Jeremy Kyle, good friend of mine, I've been doing his shifts, so he's been doing it's a little bit like working at McDonald's, actually. So he was on the broiler on Thursday. So Jez is catching up on a couple of shifts he's missed. So but normally Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Thank you for the plug.
No bother at all. I'm not joining you this weekend.
Why not?
Oh, you have to speak to my missus about
You've got a private life.
I've got a private life, which I will not post on social media.
Well, that's it.
I want my privacy like Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, well, you deserve it, baby. You've earned it.
Mark Dolan, thank you so much, as always.
Thanks a million.
Thank you for watching the Daily Expresso. Like, share, subscribe, hit the hype button, and again, I'm serious. Leave your comments. Do you want this guy in his Speedos next week? Bye-bye.